Hello everybody, this is Gregory with How I Lost Over 100 Pounds and I've kept it off for 30 plus years, where there should be no hesitancy in your weight loss and weight maintenance. Today we're going to posit the question, should you go to an Overeaters Anonymous group? Now before we begin, if you need help with weight loss, contact me through the Clarity FM link found here in the episode notes. Also check out my courses, my books, my podcast, my website, and if you appreciate my content, please hit the like button. I did go to an OA meeting probably in my mid-20s. I'll talk about this in Reflections of a Weight Loss Warrior when I get to that point of my post-weight loss journey because I was still binge eating even though I had lost all my weight. So I can say that I can speak from experience in that I've gone to these things, but I only went one time. So I think you could think that maybe I'm a little biased. Now, what are the pros of going to OA? Now, OA is mirrored and modeled on Alcoholics Anonymous, Narcotics Anonymous, Sexaholics Anonymous. It's all kind of the same principle. And so if you go to these meetings, it's all about support group. It's a support group. Now, I didn't know when I went that you're not supposed to talk about food. So I went in the one time, I was like, yeah, I really wanted to eat this Whopper, and then I ate all this ice cream. And apparently you're not supposed to do that because I guess it elicits a response from others. But either way, is the principle of going to a weekly OA meeting a good thing? I think it's good in that OA, like AA, makes you understand that you have to release yourself to a higher power, that you need help from a higher power. And I think it does discuss the kind of addictive quality that is overeating. And having people week in, week out that you can talk to about it, the same people, and hearing their stories, you can commiserate together and you can work together on that. Those are good. I think that's good. And then they have literature and so forth. I think that's good. And again, this is just my opinion. I am not an addictions expert. I don't play a doctor on TV or anything like that. This whole channel is just about my experiences, what has worked and not worked for me. My issue with OA would be kind of on one level, the addiction model in the first place, and this might be a separate episode in the future, is overeating an addiction? And I think that when we go to a model where it's like, I can't help it, it's an addiction, I think it takes away culpability, and therefore it makes it more likely that you are going to overeat because you're like, I can't help it, it's an addiction. And I've talked about it in previous episodes. We are responsible for whatever we put in our mouth, regardless of what childhood trauma we had or whatever caused us to have a disordered relationship with food. We ultimately are the ones who put food in our mouth. No one's shoving it down our mouth. Yes, we can blame food porn, we can blame childhood neglect, we can blame the food additives, yes, but ultimately, we're only responsible for ourselves. And the whole addiction model, I kind of have a problem with because it kind of takes away personal responsibility. So that's one of my issues. I think more effectively is having an accountability partner. I think having an accountability partner, which again kind of goes in with OA because you can have an accountability partner that you meet through OA. But I think having an accountability partner separate from OA, I think is probably better for those of you who really have binge eating issues and have the disordered relationship with food where all you can do is think about it and you just want to like run to the drive-thru and you get angry. I was like this. Like when I pull up to the drive-thru and there was a long line, I'd be angry because I needed to get to that first bite because the first bite was going to make me feel better because the first bite's always the best, and then after that it doesn't feel as good and then you feel horrible afterwards. So I think having somebody that you can talk to that can relate to what you're going through is great. Having a group of people, albeit you going through similar issues, that's good. But I think it's the addiction model of OA that I think I have more of a problem with in general. And I couldn't tell you if the studies or the results or anything like that of whether or not people go to OA, it's actually efficacious for them. Again, I don't know. This is just my opinion. And from the one time I went to it 25 years ago to a meeting, I would tell you, go to an OA meeting and see what you think of it. And if it works for you, stick with it. I would tell you that if you do need some sort of peer group or someone to talk to, I would probably, in my humble opinion, pick an accountability partner first and then do OA. And then absolutely, I would tell you to have a therapist who deals with overeating, because we talked about getting to the core, right? Changing the paradigm. That's episode 1 on the foundational series. Episode 1 is changing the paradigm. And for you to change the paradigm, you got to do the deep work to see why you have a disordered relationship with food, and that's typically childhood trauma. And for you to do that, you really got to find a good therapist. So therapist would be number 1, then have an accountability partner, and then maybe OA. Guys, post in the comments. Let me know if you've gone to OA, if it worked for you. I'd love to hear from you. Hit the notification, subscribe, and share button. Until next time, take care, God bless, and pray.